I'm calling the Governor General. Well, 02 6283 3533.
Good afternoon, Government House. How may I help?
Oh, good afternoon. I was hoping to speak to the Governor General, please.
I can get a message passed through to him for you if you like, sir.
Well, it's kind of not sufficient because if I don't get an immediate response, I'm at great detriment.
Okay, I can't put you straight through to the Governor General. I can definitely forward something through for you.
Well, look, this delay, defer, deny, can't get in contact methodology is the reason I'm here. And I've actually been murdered by the government in a hospital which then the government covered up and whitewashed. And I have a brain injury, a mental health issue, and cancer. I've been so framed that the Office of Prime Minister and Cabinet refused to say I exist, despite first saying my freedom of information was too voluminous and complex. That is because I've had words with not only the Attorney General, but people at AFCA, the Ombudsman, and I'm a failed whistleblower, and I can't go to police, and I can't get a lawyer. In addition to that, not only did that, what I call a conspiracy to manslaughter occur, but I just got a letter from the government, from, where was it? And I outlined all of this injustice, and they are actually aiding and abetting my death. I currently have no home, I'm squatting, I have no money or food, I don't have enough medication, I don't have a doctor. The Government of Social Services has just written to me not acknowledging any injustice that's happened, which includes multi-millions of dollars in detriment, and they refer me to a crisis service. Now, I wish to say that I've already been there, I'm already on the housing list, and I've already been to dffh.vic.gov.au, and they have already rejected me. Now, I don't have time to make a complaint to the customer feedback line. That's because I barely have money for an internet connection. After my death, which was the result of systemic oppression and being framed by a legitimate complaint about a GP, his lawyer, Mr. Ball of Ball and Partners, who sits on the legal bar of Australia and was a 40-year top-notch lawyer, he framed me from not being able to get any legal help anywhere. And in addition to that, my former partner, Steve Iasonidis, or Stefan, depending on how he presents himself to the tax department, was my former partner and an ASIO agent. He wants me dead. Last night or the night before, I had death threats at my window. The police clearly won't do anything. The police have the keys to my house, and my computer is hacked, and I own basically nothing. I am a former nationally celebrated human rights awarded autobiographer, and I worked for 25 years in altruism, helping other people in the community, mostly for nothing. And I had a mental illness in my early 20s, which I wrote about in a book which made me extremely vulnerable to exploitation. I've had an uphill battle my whole life, and the government and the Prime Minister of Cabinet refuses to concede that I even exist. This has rendered me an innocuous, voiceless vagrant in a democracy where there are whistleblower rights. If you don't intervene immediately as the Attorney General's office, then I must say that I have already failed in the CDDC scheme at the Finance Minister, at the Office of the Prime Minister and Cabinet, and also I'm banned from the Federal Police's servers. I can't get whistleblower status, and I can't even call 000. Because what they're trying to do is make it so hard for me to even exist that I kill myself. That is an abhorrent way to treat a human being. And in March 22nd in 2021 was when the hospital dumped me from the service. And I say dumped because they had a legitimate responsibility legally to look after me, and they waited 10 months until I saw a psychiatrist, and that meeting was for the explicit purpose of kicking me off the system. I wish to say too that there is no agency where I can complain anymore. Now, I believe there's an end goal to this. There simply must be. I have been absolutely, categorically character assassinated. I've lost all my friends. My family have rejected me. I have no home. I can't go to police. I can't get a lawyer. And I'm a political prisoner and a scapegoat. I'm a formerly nationally celebrated figure, and I additionally have even a Wikipedia page after me. In addition to that, I have cancer and a mental illness and an acquired brain injury. My former partner, Steve Iasonidis, you can go and have a look if you want. Look up his ABN. He goes under different names. Now, when I was with him, he embezzled $1.2 million in an offshore tax haven. Gee, it's not very nice. And he left me, he treated me coercively, sexually and financially as a slave, exploited my money, and then when I found out what he was doing, he dumped me and he was on to his next victim. He owes me a legitimate sum of about $500,000. Gee, that would be really cool, seeing as I have nothing to eat and nowhere to live. Additionally, he admitted to me he was present at a murder, and I have evidence of that. But the police won't listen. So there is some laws in this world, and what's going to happen is VCAT has already signed up to, because I've been squatting, right, for 5 months. The owners obviously want me out, and they are getting VCAT to move me on. And VCAT are coming at me with the law, backed up by the police, and they're going to move me on. But the law, ratified by the government in 2008 for the Charter of Human Rights for people with a disability, is legislated to be universally adhered to by public officials, parliamentarians, ministers, and any public service people under the public service legislation. All of these people, including all these ministers, including Minister Reynolds from the NDIA and Greg Hunt and many, many others, have failed to do so. That is because people are covering people with positions of money, privilege and power as exposed to me, who's easily exploitable, easy to frame and easy to kill. It says in that legislation, I deserve a home, I deserve equality before the law, I deserve access to the law, I deserve not to be exploited or tortured and not to be discriminated against. I need access to medicine and health care. This has put me at the centre, isolated, of a malicious conspiracy to pervert the course of justice, and it aims to aid and abet my death via punishing me financially via proxy and kicking the can down the road, delaying, deferring, denying until the public health service, which I've already exposed, can frame me as crazy and delusional, which they already have another 2 times, but the delusions, I'm afraid, are real. I can express myself however I want. And this is one of my last telephone calls that I object to this heinous persecution before I die via proxy. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here, sir. Yes.
So, as a public official who now knows I have evidence of a conspiracy to pervert the course of justice that could throw this election, as a human rights awarded doctoral fellow, I have a doctorate, what do you propose to do with the information that I've just told you?
I am going to pass this through to the Governor General for you. Are you happy to leave a contact number also, or an email? If that.
Well, of course I am, but see, would you like me to do better? So you don't have to explain it all again. I've actually got a little narrative that I can send to him. Is there an email that I can send to him? Because I can send this complaint directly to him.
Yes, certainly. There is, on our webpage, there is the option to send a contact message through to the Governor General's office.
And what do you think he would do, framed by the information that I have? Because I've already failed the CDD scheme at the Finance Minister, at the police, Federal Police, and the Office of Prime Minister and Cabinet, who say I don't exist.
I can't answer on behalf of the Governor General.
What's the Governor General's name?
David Hurley.
David Hurley.
Mm-hmm.
I should have known that.
Okay.
Governor. Now, if he doesn't intervene immediately, this is going to cause immense detriment and huge human suffering, I wish to say. And I've suffered enough. In actual fact, I'm not a bad guy. I tell a mean dad joke, but my life's become a fight because I can't fight the whole world. And I can't fight the whole government. And I just want to say too, that my work cover case is been framed. So WorkSafe kept sending me to, in Victoria, kept sending me to Comcare, the federal insurer for the NDIA, because as a compassionate person who's worked for 25 years helping people, my job was at the NDIA after my doctorate, and I ran my own business for over 2 years. Unfortunately for me, the distress of complaining about this malpractice issue with a doctor and the stress of going through my own child sexual abuse case that was then thrown out by a magistrate, and then it was intelligently designed that it go past the appeal date, and then she sent me a CD in the mail, which I had to beg for, and the lawyer didn't even give me a result. They just said on the phone, "Oh, they chucked it out. What do you want us to do?" I said, "You have to provide me with a response." And so they didn't. And I called the Law Agency Society or whatever, the legal bar. But of course I'm banned from them. So they covered their ass. And then when it was out of time, I had spent 2 years collating my client's NDIA sexual abuse, child rape and incest story for the purposes of VOCAT. I not only failed one VOCAT, whereby I went to save a man who was violently being attacked, and there was 8 of them and 2 of us. I was hospitalised with broken bones, stitches, and I lost consciousness about 5 or 6 times during that assault. And further to that, there's video evidence of it, and the police have it. And I'm fighting for my freedom of information from the police, and they redact that bit of information. Now, the police obviously don't like me for some reason. And I wish to say the second VOCAT case was the sexual abuse case, which I failed because I had been framed as an extortionist for making a complaint about a GP. And so, are you laughing?
No, I'm not, sir.
Oh, right. Sorry. And then, so I was framed by an extortionist as from Mr. Ball of Ball and Partners before I even knew. I knew something was up in my gut. The whole world was against me, and I suicided in that hospital in February 2021. And in the Freedom of Information, it was deemed a fatal injury and a lethal attempt. Now, I didn't know I was framed by him or my former partner, an ASIO employee, who was being strangely silent because he owes me $500,000. And look, I know he was present in a murder, and there's too much at stake for my truth to come out, and as opposed to what will happen to this country. Now, I'm a powerful person. I have sentience. I'm very, very forgetful. I'm a bit of a stream of consciousness guy now because I can't remember what I've done or what I'm doing. I have distress, and this is a vile victimisation. Victimisation is against the law, and this is a vile conspiracy to pervert the course of justice, and that's against the law. All my prosecution needs to prove in the High Court is that 3 or more people conspired to pervert the course of justice. It's easily provable by slander and libel, Mr. Ball and the doctor, for which I was framed an extortionist, and also I gifted back $100,000 to someone who gave it to me and they said it was a mistake, so I gave it back. Like, money's not my currency. This isn't about money. This is about being free from death threats. It's about being able to work and serve in the community again. It's about not being oppressed. It's about having human dignity, human worth, and being valued. And in addition to that, I've got evidence of not only my own manslaughter, but the murder of someone else that my former partner was at. What part of this isn't a police matter?
It really should be a police matter, so... Yep.
Should's the worst word in the English language, because you know why? It's uncommittal. It doesn't do anything. There is no try, as Yoda says in Star Wars. There is only do and do not. I'm quite chipper now that I have been heinously oppressed, killed, and a government ombudsman condoned it as nothing to see, and that every single time I tried to get a lawyer, I failed, and that I'm a banned whistleblower at IBAC, at APRA, at ASIC, and at the Commonwealth Ombudsman. The Attorney General is well aware of this, Michaelia Cash, and despite me telling her explicitly I don't need welfare and I don't want a helpline, I need someone to intervene in this corruption and this justice. And you know what she did?
Did she respond with?
Yeah, she responded via a proxy person who didn't have a name, of course, they all do that. And she sent me she goes, I'm sorry for your experience with Comcare. I think you should call the SANE helpline. Now, me as a nationally awarded laureate and autobiographer, my book's already SANE's Book of the Year. And I actually spoke to the CEO, Jack Heath, who advised me to move on from this situation. But I am a pig-headed Aries person, and I wanted my acknowledgement for the overdose that was truly avoidable. And then that led to more injustice, and it amplified in itself. And now I'm an infamous vagrant. I have no one and nothing. And and furthermore to that, I published it all online. So if you go to the website, because I only realised this after a few months after I'd left hospital. First of all, I lost $1.5 million a settlement from the Australian Human Rights Commission. Liz Lindbergh who was representing them said, "Oh, they've left, so that's it." I said, "Well, you can't just do that. I mean, you're a non-committal person in the middle. Under what legislation have they left? Prove to me they're allowed to leave." This was with a super company. And they exploited me because I had a public profile of someone with a mental illness. So she free kicked $1 million to the opposite team. And the same with Tim Goss and Peter Fisher at AFCA. I had $1 to $2 million of legitimate concerns with them. And I've just realised now, because I'm not very clever or politically motivated or even know the law, that they're supposed to, by their own nature, come to a determination of a vulnerable person within 4 weeks. They waited and waited and delayed and deferred and denied those determinations until my insurer, when I had to leave my job because I was framed and I was stressed from the thing, my HCF didn't pay out. Nothing paid me out. There is a movement to use proxy organisations to rob me from prosperity. And that is in order to aid and abet my death and render me so mad that they incarcerate me a ward of the state. I've already been threatened this by one of my hospitalisations, whereby I recorded the psychiatrist telling me that we are going to lock you away. And he kind of said, if you don't stop sticking up for yourself, we will just... He was basically saying, we will destroy you. You'll be locked away. I can't believe... I must be... sometimes I think I'm the reincarnation of Jesus Christ, here to forgive everyone. It's the laughing Buddha, because I've actually got a good sense of humour about it. And but it has been an abhorrent 16-month journey of utter below poverty levels. First, the government put me on job seeker, although I'd been on a pension before, and they're well aware that Steve Iasonidis was my former partner. Go and look him up on the ABN register. See how many names he goes under. Stefan. He's a criminal, and he exploited me, and he was present at a murder, and I've got the evidence. I actually recorded him. And anyway, in addition to that, I forgot what I was saying now. So it's so overwhelming. I keep forgetting bits. I taped Tim Goss because I began to record my phone calls because I used to think, well, something's not right. And I've been banned from the Mental Health Legal Centre, the Legal Bar. I'm banned from the Mental Health Complaints Commissioner, Health Complaints Commissioner, APRA, NHP, APC, IBAC. I could go on. I've been categorically framed and desecrated by this government. And further, my website, richmclean.com.au, which I made in 1998 when the internet first came, had been going for 20 years, and all of my evidence was on there. And next thing you know, I get a call out of the blue, it was text out of the blue from the owner, and Micron 21, the business, have links to the government, and all of a sudden, my entire business, my NDIS business, richmclean.com.au, which was my ABN, and also my digital identity to log into Centrelink, to log into banks, to log into everything I've ever known, that email address was me. That website address was my art, it was my public speaking, it was my business, it was everything to me. And they intentionally and maliciously destroyed it out of the blue. And then they said, we have deleted all the backups and we have deleted all your emails. And then they said, do not call us. We've blocked your email. Thanks for being a customer. Goodbye. Now, I thought this was it would just started to become abhorrent, the maliciousness of this thing. No one cared. I went to business.gov.au, I went to the police, I went to Cyberwatch, I went to intellectual property, I went to the Small Business and Family Ombudsman. I tried to get insurance. I went to who else did I go to? The Telecommunications Industry Ombudsman. You'd think someone would have a concern that... I mean, imagine the government. Oh, I'll just take down everything with the .gov.au on it. That'd be fucking chaos, wouldn't it? I'm sorry, it's just so heinously vile. And all of my friends who I beg money off to survive are getting sick of me because I complain all the time. People say, why don't you move on? What do you reckon I should move on to? Selling heroin? Give them blowjobs for $20? Like, where am I going to go now that I'm absolutely and utterly character destroyed? I used to be a really nice person. I still am a nice person, but I've been absolutely heinously exploited, tortured, discriminated against. And like I said, I have cancer, a mental illness, and a brain injury. Where is my help? Yeah, and I just received an email from the government saying, here you go. They're just sending me around in circles. This is what they want to do. They want to send me batshit crazy. And they've already exploited all my family and friends to believe half-believable truths because it's actually a government secret systemic persecution and character assassination that has an end goal. It was to kill me, and it did, and then they covered it up. And now it is, we'll just leave him alone. Everyone's strangely silent. What is everyone waiting for? I said to my best friend Kylie, my mum and dad, who don't speak to anymore, and a few other people, I have no food, medication, doctor, or any help whatsoever. I'm squatting. The police are going to come to move me on with the law, but I can't report rape, murder, tax fraud, anything to the police. What is wrong with this picture? I said to them, why is everybody waiting? And not one person got back to me. What is happening here is me being tortured. And it's systemic and it's a character assassination. And not only that I've failed the detriment of the Commonwealth Detriment Scheme, which are legitimate things that I could claim. And already the Finance Minister Birmingham's rejected it, the Office of Prime Minister and Cabinet's rejected it, the police rejected it. I am absolutely freaking ruined. Anyway, sorry to laugh. But in addition to that, it's quite preposterous indeed. I'm just about to lose a work cover case, which is probably a TPD now, because in the time in which I did the work cover claim, it's still going. It's at the AAT now. This is after WorkSafe referred me to Comcare. It was set up to fail from the start, like at the AAT, like at AFCA, like at all the other agencies, and I've had to go bankrupt. And further than that, the AAT are now going to a determination and using all this litigation. I don't understand. And of course I can't get a lawyer. I mean, of course no one will help. I mean, someone did step in, but he works for the DFFS. And he's condoning and helping them. He's aiding my destruction. His name's Jeffrey Tricker. And he's a spy sent to destroy me. And you know what? I have a valid paranoia that people are watching and people are listening and people know and they know something I don't. I'm not a rapist. I'm not a pedophile. I haven't fucked a chicken. I'm not an extortionist. I'm just a dude who's had some really bad luck. Either that or I'm the second coming of Christ. You with me? It's all on a website already. My whistleblowing website called killhim.info. Killhim.info. Go and have a look. It's amazing.
All right. I'll note that down.
because if I go to the if I went to the finance minister and already the attorney general, and she totally covers up the corruption, and she sends me to the to Sane Helpline, even though I don't need it. Like I don't like. Is it welfare or is it justice I need? Like, which one do you think?
I'm not too sure. I'm sorry, sir. I've noted your concerns down. I will forward these through, as well as yourself.
My name's Dr. Richard McLean.
McLean?
Yeah,
Okay.
and you probably were expecting me. I live in a squat, and they're coming very quickly to get me. I've already offered the government an atonement of just an above average monthly wage until they can work out the detriment. That's a pretty good deal, I reckon, as opposed to having to pay me multi millions of dollars. Like, I'm probably worth $50 million and could turn the country on its head. Now I even offered them an atonement that would forgive them of everything and not have responsibility for my murder if they would simply just give me enough to simply live free from oppression in a house, and they refused.
Okay, Richard, I'll forward that through for you.
Okay.
And, it's been interesting and concerning what you've been saying today in the conversation that we've had, and I'll forward that through to the Governor General's office for you. Okay?
What's his name again?
David Hurley.
David Hurley. He's one. Oh, God, just lastly, if David Hurley doesn't get back to me, what will I do?
Give us a call back, and we'll see what other avenues we may be able to assist you with.
Does David Hurley have a whistleblower thing or an interest disclosure thing going on?
I'm unable to answer that. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay, I just didn't know.
Okay, no, that's okay. All right, I'll forward that on, and it has been.
I'll give you my number.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I don't think you were going to even call me back, but anyway.
Okay.
It's 0409
Yeah.
847 076.
No worries.
I think, I'm not sure. Actually, can I just get your email address and send this through to you now?
Yeah, it's the one on the web page.
Okay, what is it again?
gg.gov.au.
.gov.au.
Yeah.
gg.gov. Hang on, no, that doesn't make sense. gg@gov.au.
Yeah, no, the contact page to send the email through to is on the Governor General's web page, Richard.
Can you just give me the email, because I'm typing in now.
Yeah, that's the one that you need to send that through to.
Okay, what's it called? What is it? gg@gov.au.
Yeah.
Hang on, I don't want to get this right. I think I've wasted a whole lot of time. Can I just... Hang on.
The phone line's about to kick in at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
So it may drop out.
Okay, just give me the email address. Quick, I'll contact... gg?
gg.gov.au.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, shit.